Awesome. We're live on Facebook. Larry Fleischman, how are you, my brother?
Fantastic. Great to see you, Mike.
Good to see you, man. Hey, listen, thank you for joining me today. I know this is kind of impromptu, but I wanted to get a video out there for our YouTube channel and our coaching clients about what it's like to be on a successful team with a successful team leader and truly what it means to have a coach, right? So at EXP, I coach all of our organization one-on-one and by group coaching. And Team Bjorkman, obviously you're the team leader, which I respect you so much for being able to do that. And I just kind of wanted to go over what you experienced before Team Bjorkman and then kind of what it's like. So team leaders can say, oh, I should be doing that. And EXP people should be going, oh, I should be doing that. And even just normal team leaders or people thinking about building a team or for that matter, coaching. So I just kind of wanted to go through the motions. We might do a couple screen shares and just kind of see what your experience has been like. Is that cool?
Absolutely.
All right, so let's talk about when you were out on your own, just the 30-second version, maybe what it was like and a couple of the challenges.
So, when I was out on my own, and I got to be totally honest, Mike, I was paying for coaching by a well-known, coach prior to joining the team. I got to tell you, when you're out there on your own, whether you're being coached or not, you're out there on your own. It's sink or swim, and the sharks are out there. And even though, the systems are there and they're sharing those things with you, when you're with a team and you have the support and the leadership that we have on our team, it makes a world of difference. So it's not just, that these systems work, but they're proven, they're already implemented in, and now I'm just following them and continuing to ride your coattails, so to speak, to continue to be successful. So there's no comparison.
All right, cool. So you were buying leads, you had a coach, all this good stuff. So I want to talk about a couple things. I wrote a couple notes down. When building a team, being on a team, or running a revenue share organization, what do you, in your mind, and you can be totally honest, like what do you love about the leadership that we have here? And where do you think other teams and other organizations kind of lose it a little bit? And what are some of the things that you really have appreciated as an agent as far as the leadership goes?
So two things stand out to me, right? So number one is training, because training is critical. And there's one thing, when you're reading it in a book or you're learning it from a video, there's another thing when you're interacting with seasoned professionals who have been through it and can give you the support. So training is number one, bar none. The other thing that stands out is, really the systems that are in place to ensure our success. So for instance, we have it on multi-levels, right? So we have our EXP systems that are in place. And those are not only training, but resources as well. And then we've got the Team Bjorkman resources in place. And to have someone available to ask questions, to role play, to go on appointments with, there are just so many things that are invaluable to being on the team.
Gotcha. All right. Well, let's touch on a little bit of that. As far as training goes, I mean, not all team leaders have to be coaches, right? They just need to have the resources for training. For instance, on our team, and I recommend for any other team, one of my mentors, David Knox, he has a very inexpensive subscription-based coaching, which takes new agents, a couple different action plans and classes for that. There's over 600 videos, I think, that agents can watch. And running a team or a brokerage for that matter, or an organization with almost 800 agents like we have at EXP, it's one of those things where, look, the team leader still is in production, is still doing a lot of other stuff, and actually they don't have time to train, so that puts a lot of weight on the shoulders of the agents. So I like to not only coach and train the agents myself, and we record, like for instance, we have realestatemarketingshow.com. That is a podcast with tons of training on it. We have the Agent Mechanics group in Facebook, which has a ton of trainings in the units. As a matter of fact, I think we go back 17 or 18 weeks now since we started that group. But it's important to me, owning a brokerage, I learned, record everything, right? Because the next team member we hire is going to ask all the same questions. Right. So if we could keep that up to date, keep it real, keep it raw, and not you know, like not like the old Century 21 and Cole Banker back in the day, where if you knock on 20 doors a day and sit open houses, right? We're all about working smarter, not harder. Obviously, that's why we're at the company we're at, that gives us so many resources. But other resources that you could buy off the street, how would most agents like to avoid, you know, massive open houses all the time and freezing or sweating to death, and be able to effectively sit behind a computer and just pluck leads, you know, warm or hot leads out of a system? I like that. But all that involves the training. Like, you could have a million leads, but if you don't know what to say, how to say it, it doesn't work, right? What has that been like? So since you came on the team and you've had the coaching and training from myself, what is your confidence level? Just kind of explain that a little bit so that other agents can get a feel for that.
So, and I think that goes on. So you say training, but there's a lot of things that I've gained from the team. And, with confidence, it starts with the perfect daily schedule. And that's part of the training that I got from you. Having that perfect daily schedule to know what to do throughout, each segment of the day. The amount of confidence that I built from the day that I started in that is incredible, and so we talk about that in our training. What should the perfect daily schedule be? And so confidence from that alone is huge. But then there's so many other things that we do, and we're role playing every day. And when you role play, you address each scenario, and you have great opportunities to cover all kinds of things. So again, confidence just skyrockets. And we're role playing not only with our team, but we invite others in. And the feedback that we're getting from everybody is incredible, and what it's doing for their confidence. So we've got systems in place. Not only, you mentioned David Knox, but Mike, when people come and join our team, you know this, we have a system in place from the time they're onboarded. So they know what their schedules are going to look like, what training's involved, and what they need to cover to be successful. And we're there to help them through. They need to self-direct it, but we're there to help them and make sure they're successful. And, I was with Century 21 and I went through that training.
I was totally just throwing that out there. They still do that?
That's where I started. And, and by the way, there's great elements there, but what we're doing and the way we're setting people up for success, it's incredible. And especially having, you giving us access to David Knox, which is incredible. What about the resources that we have for training with EXP? People can get on just about any time during the day and find something to help them, whether it's sales skills, technical skills, any aspect. We've got everything here for everybody. It's pretty incredible. So my confidence level, 1,000 times where it was before I joined the team. It's
Gotcha.
unbelievable.
And I have to give props to you for setting up a lot of that onboarding and training and running the daily huddles for us and the role playing. Let's talk a little bit about, and I should touch on the training. People are going to ask, well, what is the training? 5 to 7 to 10 classes a day, taught by some of the most awesome agents on the planet, all over the country, talking about whatever's relevant, whatever's going to change agents' careers today in this market, whether it's COVID, whether it's going to be a downturn, upturn. With 30,000 agents to choose from and some of the best teams in the nation, we have training covered. So that takes a lot of pressure off the team leader or the broker owner of their organization. So I like that. And one of the things that, and I don't want to embarrass you, but, how long have you been on the team?
It's just about 2 years.
2 years. So in 2 years, I've watched you go from a quiet, scared person in the shell that I knew you had the talent if I could just pull it out of you. But through all these systems, processes, and training, you've turned out to be an absolute animal, to where so much I trust you to run the entire team. So, thank you for that, and congratulations. And it just goes to show that anybody can adapt, anybody can learn. But, I'll tell, from a team member standpoint or a team leader standpoint, I'll give you my observation. It's easy to be in real estate and sell homes. It really is. If you listen to the proper training, the proper people, and actually do what you're supposed to do. Like, I can go down the list. Larry, I told you to watch every YouTube video on my channel. I believe you've done that, right? Absolutely. I've told you to be on every live training I've ever done. I believe you've done that. I told you, and it doesn't matter. You always leap in with blind faith and practice everything that I teach, and you have turned into this amazing producer. And not only are you an awesome team leader, but you have production levels higher than most agents that I coach. So let's talk about that. So a lot of team leaders don't want to have a team because of the frustration of their team selling 4 or 5 homes and leaving. Let's have a candid conversation on why you stay on the team. Like, what is the benefit of you being on Team Bjorkman still, so the other agents know what to do when they build their team?
Do I have to give just one benefit? Because there are so many. Well, I mean, the first one I think is pretty obvious, and it's you. You've been in this business for a long time. And of all the people that I've ever watched and learned from, there's nobody comparable. I mean, just the chances that we have to role play with you is incredible. So number one is being with Mike Bjorkman. But as far as, in generalizing a bit more with being on a team, number one, you have constant support. When you try and go at it alone and you're the lone wolf out there, what happens if you're sick? What happens if you have conflicting appointments? Who's taking care of your paperwork? There's, a ton of things. So for me on the team, we have structure that really enables me to be successful. We have trainings where we work together. Having 10 people on the team right now is enabling people to work together and collaborate on things that they wouldn't be able to if they were on their own. So collaboration is huge. The systems that we have in place as a team, if you don't have those as an individual agent, things slip through the crack. I mean, we have marketing support. So we have our own social media and marketing, representative expert. What I call her the goddess. So having that support to not have to be thinking every day, okay, what am I doing on Facebook? What am I doing on Instagram? We have that. It's there. The support is there. How about our incredible transaction coordinator that makes sure that we're dotting all the I's and crossing the T's? With all the disclosures and everything that's involved in every transaction, when you're doing more than one transaction at a time, well, forget it, right? Let alone when you have, 5 things in escrow at a time. So we have that dedicated person who's going to support us. And then, when you work on a team that is well leveraged in the community, you have resources for everything. And I'm not just talking about lending and title and escrow. But we are tied into this community because of the foundation that you as our leader have laid for us that enables me to walk in anywhere with a reputation as a successful real estate person just because I'm on Team Bjorkman. So I know that was a lot, but I mean.
And thank you for pointing that out. And that means a lot. And I appreciate it. And team leaders listening out there and team members, if you're considering going on a team or creating a team, that's really important too. And two of my team building classes that are on the YouTube channel or on the Agent Mechanics channel you guys can watch is, as a team leader, you need to get out there. You need to be in the public eye. You need to give your team support. Like, hey, listen, when our agents, and I can think of multiple times just recently when we've had brand new agents go into a listing appointment and they say, yeah, I'm partnered with Mike Bjorkman, who's been in the community and sold 4,500 homes and all that. They get the listing right there and they've gone up against some of the top agents in the community. So I think that's really important. And I think as you grow, or if you're coached by me or somebody, those are things to be looking for. And I absolutely love that you pointed that out. I would have forgotten about that. So when it comes to most team leaders, one of the benefits of being at our company, most team leaders say, I'm really afraid to put all this time, effort, money, and love into this team because after they sell 4 or 5 homes, they're going to leave. I have a different policy, right? Like, look, Larry, I love you. I will absolutely shit myself if you leave our team because I rely on you heavily. But at the same time, I've had open communication with you and say, Larry, at any time you want to leave, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you spread your wings, fly from the nest, and be your supporter and be, your mentor and leader still, because we're going to be financially aligned forever.
Right.
And you have a very intimate relationship with our team, more so than me, just because of time and, some of the things that I've committed to, like training all the other agents across the country. But what does that make a difference, do you think, on the team where the agents don't feel trapped? They don't have to feel funny and awkward. Do you think that makes a difference in as far as like, I could breathe, I could be open, I could be honest?
Yeah, and I think that really does. And a lot of people, especially people who have been in the industry and been at other brokerage where they don't feel that they're getting that support or they don't feel that their contribution means that much. with our organization, it's incredible, right? So, not just for our team, but the organization as a whole. And so to be valued on that level and to know that no matter what choices that I make, you're still in support of them. Yeah, absolutely. I'm more empowered and I feel more comfortable in my daily interactions with everybody because I know I have that support from you. So yeah, and for me, a lot of times I remember when I joined the team, Mike, you said you got to give at least 2 years. 2 years, and then you can think about creating your team. Well, it's been 2 years and here I am, right? And I'm just as happy now as I was and grateful for being on the team. And now we're trying to continue the legacy and build it to get others so that they feel that same love and support and know that we want to build them, we want to help them grow and be successful, whether that's in our office with us or out on their own as part of the broader EXP team. So extremely important.
I love the way you put that. Deanna just joined us. We just gave you an amazing compliment, Deanna. Thank you for being part of our team. All right. So how about leads? Like most team leaders and coaches and broker owners, they don't like giving all their personal leads to their people. But I want to say, as we grow and we try to do a heck of a lot of business, I have to entrust somebody, right? So if you're thinking about being on a team or on a team now and you're saying, my team leader doesn't give me any leads, I want you to consider something really carefully. Like as our team Bjorkman progresses, I feel more comfortable and confident handing leads out. Like you are hands down one of the best, I don't want to use the word protege, but I kind of feel like you are, right? Like you've done everything I've said. There's very few things, very few times I've ever said, I wonder if you've done that. I tell you to do it, you do it. So what that means is I feel like you are getting to be as talented sales skills wise as I am because you're doing everything I say. So I mean, you know it. I talked to you this morning. I said, I'm giving you all the leads and you're taking completely over. And as the team leader at our organization, I don't have to stress. Like most team leaders would say, hell no, I'm never doing that. Do you feel that do you know in your heart of hearts that the only reason you're getting all these leads is because you've done what you've done and really tried and practiced? Like, do you get that?
I don't think there's any question about it, right? And for me, it's not just you, Mike, but I mean, for people out there that are Tony Robbins fans or, any of the other folks that are out there, they say you got to dive in wholeheartedly and you got to follow those people that have proven success. And you've proven it. So I would have to be a fool not to listen to what you're saying and just dive in, as you say, dive in blindly and do it. You've done it, you've proven it. And so having that makes me comfortable in that what I'm going to do is going to be successful. And then, yeah, I get to the benefit of your trust, in that. And I think that's critical. It's been really important.
Right. One of my things as a team leader, and, a lot of people don't want to build a team or don't want to be on a team or don't want to, create this huge organization within a community because they're so worried about overhead. Most people's biggest fear is laying in bed at night saying, listen, if I run a team, I have to somehow coach them, right? Or pay a coach, which we have handled at our company. I have to buy these huge elaborate systems, which at our company we don't. We get all of our system for free, one of the most robust systems on the planet, KV Core. For $300 more, you can run a complete team off of it. Now, on our Agent Mechanics channel yesterday or today, Deanna posted the KV Core trainers and what we could really do with it. So if, the biggest stress level is so much overhead, right? Like for us to keep our doors open, I don't want to give everybody's salaries out, but it cost me about 20 to 25 grand a month just to keep our doors open. A couple salaries, rent, lead generation, and all the other bullshit you guys ask for. I want this, I want that, it's all another few grand a month, right? So I don't mind doing that because I know if the team is doing what they're supposed to be doing and practicing the way they're doing and you're running the team awesome, like you say, we're going to break even, right? Thank God, because most team leaders have had months where they've written checks to pay bills out of their own personal production, which is not the best thing in the world, but that's why a lot of people don't want to build a team. They're like, why would I want to spend 25 grand a month? But at some point you get to a production level where that's still profitable. So there's two types of people. There's two types of people that are going to be successful in this world. You're either going to be on a team or build a team. I believe there's not any in between for very long. You can be okay, but you're going to grind yourself into the ground. So do you feel that, do you have comfort knowing that you don't have to be the one to write a check every month for 25 grand? Like, what does that feel like on a team to know you're still making a few $100,000 a year?
It's, let's be honest, it's incredible, right? I mean, you know my background, and my background's been in business management, so I understand what the stress that comes with that, and having owned a family business in the past. To be able to go every day and know that the things that I need to conduct my business are in place, and I don't have to pay any money for it, it's it leaves me speechless. Trust me, I think about it often. You know, I think about when you take a listing, what's involved in it. I think, you know, in that we talked about Debbie, we talked about Deanna, you know, our transaction coordinator and our social media coordinator. Incredible what they do for us. And I can't imagine what it would cost to, you know, as you said, to pay them every month, because it's invaluable. So for me to know that I can just go out, put my nose to the grind and get it done without having to worry about it. Again, when you talk about confidence, that's another thing that adds to my confidence.
That's awesome. And I love to talk to team leaders about that. I say, hey, be open with your books, like for reals. Show your team what you know, we have to sell 4 or 5 homes before Mike ever gets paid, right? Show that to your team, because they think, oh, the team leaders, they're just making millions, pocketing all this cash. No, like, you know, we don't get paid till the last month. Like, all the agents get paid the first month there's closings, the second week, the third week. And then if there's anything left, that's when Mike starts to get. And that's why I like to run the team profitable. And this is one of the secrets I was going to say. At EXP, it makes it a lot easier. The training's paid for. The systems are paid for. The marketing's paid for. I could I did cut my fees in half when we came to EXP, because all I have to pay for is marketing, rent for we do have physical space. Yes, we have 1,500 square feet of beautiful offices. I do believe in brick and mortar. I just like to pay for it the way I want to pay for it. And I don't want to have to give 50 grand a year to a broker that they're giving my competition bigger offices if they sell a couple more homes than me, or give it to them free. Don't get me started with brokerages. But the fact is we can come and start a team at this company and have everything we've ever needed in place. And a lot of team leaders or agents or brokers or coaches won't say that comfortably, because they're terrified that their teammates are going to leave. And they're terrified that the teammates won't find the value in that. But I say, Larry, or anybody else on our team that's going to watch this, I promise you, I can show you how to run a powerful team for very little a month. And we could break that down just real quick, right? We don't have any of the system. All you're going to spend is lead gen and whatever support staff you want. But honestly, we have enough support staff, and you could use an independent TC. So you actually have everything you need to build a team, right? Like, so we have a little extravagance. Like, we have more than most team leaders could ever even imagine buying for their team. But I like you guys to have everything. But I guess the point I'm trying to get across is, don't be afraid to try to build a team if you feel like that's where you're at, right? If you're watching and listening to this, because it's something that is definitely possible. But I love, it's so freeing to be able to say that out loud as a team leader, because for 25 years, I was just scared to death to, you know, show my books or be upfront and honest or talk about overhead, or, you know, I always talk about crying in the shower. There was months and months when we were reorganizing our team that I was crying in the shower because I was writing checks for 25, 30 grand a month just to keep Team Bjorkman alive until we restructured and reorganized and hired again. But I had the faith in the system because I've trained, you know, umpteen numbers of teams how to succeed and how to grow across the country. So, I mean, all this stuff sounds great, but how real is it? Like, to be on what other what other things do you appreciate? What other things can you tell other team leaders to do, or other teammates to look for when joining a team?
So number one, you have to look at, you know, who the team leader is and what their experience is, because that's critical. Number two, you need to look at where's the license held, right? So for us, the support that we have at EXP, the systems that are in place that Mike kind of touched on, is very important. Number three is what systems are in place to help you be successful. So if you're going to join a team, what's there? Number four, you know, look at the leads. And then for me, number five is the splits. So I know a lot of people look at that as number one, but to me, that's down the line a little bit. Um, I think, Mike, you spoke about setting up a team and building a team. We're still looking for people to join our team, but we're also looking to sing the praises of EXP and help people come on board something that's bigger than themselves and really incredible. And if you want to be a team leader and you're not, we even have training on leading teams at EXP. It's, sorry, I'm speechless again. It's all encompassing. There is so much benefit to being on a team, from the benefits that you get from lead gen to lower expenses to the support that you need to truly be successful. I can't see doing it any other way.
Right. And we'll wrap it up, put a bow on it. And I'm just going to talk to team leaders out there directly that are listening to this. I've talked to some big team leaders when I got to EXP, and I said, listen, EXP was built for teams. It really was. It was built for good agents. If you're going to do 1 or 2 or 3 deals a year, stay wherever you're at. If you feel like you want to do 10 deals a year or more, check this out, right? Like, so if you're running a team, which will hopefully do more than 10 deals a year, I feel, and this is where I'm going to piss some people off and get controversial, but I feel you're very selfish as a team leader and financially irresponsible to not be at our company. Because people say to me, Mike, I care only about my team. Really? If you cared about your team, they would have residual income, a way to pay their bills if they didn't sell a house 1 month. If you cared about your team, they'd have an amazing retirement plan that they could take advantage of. If you cared about your team, they would have the best iBuyer program on the planet. They would have the best health insurance available in the real estate industry. They'd have the best support, and they'd have the best chance of making it in this damn business with or without you. And that's what I think building a team is all about, where you can truly hug somebody and say, I love you, I care about you. When it's time for you to go, I'm going to either shake your hand, hug you, and I'm still going to mentor, lead, and train you as you go off into the wild blue. And you can come back at any time, as long as you're not a ding-dong, back onto the team if you feel that's not right. Most people can't say that. So if you want to have a true 7th level business like Gary Keller at KW talks about, who is an absolute genius and I have more respect for than pretty much anybody on the planet. It's not his fault technology didn't exist when he invented KW. It's not his fault. Otherwise he would have done what EXP has done. I'm sure it was just too late. But a true 7th level business is important. If you guys haven't read his books, you really need to read his books. But anyways, so don't be afraid to build a team. Don't be afraid to be on a team. And don't be afraid to be open and honest with your team. And as teammates, don't be afraid to be open and honest with your team leader, because that person, sometimes their head is so far in the clouds, worrying about money, worrying about production, worrying about all this other stuff, that you have to come to common ground. And I truly feel that all teams are created separately and differently. Some people need a team leader. Like I need Larry. I need Larry to help me run the team, because I am so busy doing coaching and property management and vacationing and all this other stuff. Most people say, I don't need a team leader. I'm the team leader. But no, it's okay. Some people say, I need a listing agent because I love buyers. Well, I've turned Larry into my listing agent, right? Larry goes out, and team leaders listening to this, I don't know if you understand how good it feels to send somebody out to a listing appointment knowing that they're going to duplicate everything you've done and said and come home with the listing. That is such a good feeling. If Larry loses 1 out of 10 listings, I go, you've actually got my success rate. Good job, 90%. And half of the time we tell the people, we'd rather turn you down than let you down, you psycho crazy client. We don't want you anyways, right? So to put a bow on this, I just want to say, running a team, having a team is everything. Being on a team, loving the team that you're on, and the support is everything. It just depends on your personality, the drive, where you're going with your career. And I think the future of real estate is now. I think more than ever, we have this shot to do what we want, like the next 6 months. And for those of you listening, we're in July of 2020, right? 20, 21, 20? I don't even know what year it is. Doesn't matter. I'm 47. That's all I need to know. I was taught that the other day. But this has more opportunity right now with our economy, with what's happening around the world, what's happening with our company. This is the time that you can really make or break yourself. I watched my retirement account double in the last couple of weeks. I've never had a retirement account. I've watched my team be successful. I've watched my organization, all 700 and whatever agents underneath me. I've watched them all thrive through COVID. I've watched our technology, our tools, our training, our company get better. And if you mix good, hard, old-fashioned work, get your elbows and hands dirty and really get out there and grind it out, plus with the support and everything we have, this is the time where moves are going to be made. This is what's going to separate awesome agents from, the agents that are going to go get a job somewhere else. And I think we have everything going for us. And last words, Larry, what do you have to say?
My last words are, first of all, thank you, Mike. But second of all, if you guys watching have any questions about what we're talking about, reach out. We're happy to talk to you and happy to help you. You can message us. You can reach out and text us, whatever works. We're happy to help you and tell you what's going on with us. So just ask.
That's awesome. Okay, guys, and I'll wrap it up by saying I'm available. I'm here to answer any questions. If you're already at our company and other lines, I don't care. I'm here to help coach, lead, and train you as well. We're all here for the same reason. If you're thinking about having curiosity about our company, reach out to Larry or myself. And if you're just at another company and have no reason to leave but want us to coach, lead, and mentor your team, we're going to do that, because if something ever changes or happens, we want to be part of your family. We want to be financially aligned with you. And that's really it. Thank you, Larry. I love you, man. I would do anything for you. Appreciate you. I want to publicly say you're the baddest ass agent on the planet, and appreciate you, man. Have a good night.
Thanks for everything, Mike.
All right. Take care, everybody. See ya.